Welcome to Atlanta Tarot. This is the tarot forecast for Pisces for April 2021. So Pisces, we are in Aries, which is the element of fire. So things moving very quickly, scorching, warming, all those things that fire means to you is this month. Can be a bit of aggression around too, Pisces, but I'm sure you can just throw a bucket of water on the fire. That's what water does to fire, doesn't it? So let's see. The energy around is the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is a card for a bit of discontentment, Pisces. It's the card where we have everything that we need, but we still want more. It's cups, so it's basically about relationships. It can be relationships, and it can be you sort of still stinging after a recent breakup or something like that. But it's only transitory and it doesn't take long. And fours are also consolidation, so it means, you know, these things are all ramping up so you can sort of deal with it and move to the next stage. But let's get into it and see what exactly is your story for April 2021. Where you are right now. Wow, you've got the Ace of Wands, so fire, Aries, things moving fast, very fast-paced, fertility. It's also about new beginnings, but the overriding meaning of this card is energy. There is a lot of energy to go around this month for you, so use it wisely. Things just taking off. See, I always see that as a rocket. It's like it's launching itself. But it's a very positive card. So let's see what is influencing that and the rest of the 10 cards in the spread. And we have the World. So the World is about something, the finishing of a cycle, the completion of a cycle. It's about things are all wrapped up, all the ends are cut off. Everything's ready to move on to the next adventure or the next journey that you're going to take. So especially with the Four of Cups as the energy, you can kind of happily move on to the next stage, even though there is that feeling there of discontentment. You can just breeze past that, and this one lets you know that it is time to move on to the next adventure, I call it. Let's see what's happening in February, March. The moon. So the moon was clouding over, fogging over. You couldn't see things properly. It was a bit blurry, really. Also, intuition is the moon. Your intuition. So maybe that was just a little bit off. And maybe things that you couldn't see an end to, because the moon can be deception and all those sort of nasty sort of things where you feel like, oh, I'm sure this is happening, but you didn't have any proof. But this actually does. And we've got a full moon coming up, I think, on it's the 24th of March today. I think it's in 4 days, on the 28th. So maybe by the time this is published, you will get to see exactly what was going on. It all sort of clears, because the full moon is like endings and new beginnings. Let's go and see recent influences. Yeah, and feeling a bit left out in the cold, so don't worry so much about that. Very intuitive time, big time for you actually, Pisces. So if you don't really feel like being part of the group or the huddle or whatever, just trust your intuition and do your own thing. Feeling left out in the cold. Once again, it's very transitory. a lot of change going on too, which might disrupt your normal, you know, normally you're very intuitive, very positive people. You just go with the feeling. So if you do feel a bit like this, left out in the cold, just go with that. It won't be there for long. It's just passing through. It's like a storm that comes over and then it leaves. So trust your intuition this next 4 weeks, actually, Pisces. Let's see what you are learning, or the lesson you are learning in April. The Emperor. Control. Control is his biggest word, really. The biggest meaning is control. It's also status. It's leadership. He's a ruler. He's at the top for a reason. He got there by, you know, very strategic, disciplined ways. So he's there. Very male archetype, often the alpha male here. So if this is got to do with past relationships from either, he is the lesson. So it's about sort of navigating things, but knowing that it takes planning, strategy, self-control, and all those aspects that you don't just normally, a wand is waved and you get what you want. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So he's a big heavy hitter, that Emperor, and he is governed by Aries. So it's very interesting that he's your lesson. So yeah, just go through this month using your famous intuition, Pisces, and you should be fine. But also knowing that things are coming to an end, but you have to be in control. You have to be the one that sort of guides yourself through this next 4 weeks. Because like everything, there's ups and there's downs. Near future, so coming into the first week of April, after the full moon, let's say, don't give your personal power away. Absolutely not. So this will tie in well with the endings, the power. Don't give it away to anybody. And the Eight of Swords it's almost like you can leave that situation anytime you like, but the feeling is, the mindset is that you're trapped. But in fact, you can leave at any time. And the only way to leave is say no rather than yes. Don't commit to something that you think, nah, it doesn't feel right. Really go with the flow, with how you feel, Pisces. That's how you live. You live by feelings, not by your mind. Let's see what's happening that you're not realizing, especially with this giving away the personal power. Another 4, the 4 of coins. So do I hang on? Do I let go? Do I hang on? Do I let go? Now all the indicators are power, endings, things that have been murky, giving your power away. I would suggest you let go. Now this is very much covert. It's under the covers. You can't really see it. You won't actually know it until you sort of find yourself in the situation where you're asked to hang on or let go. But the best way for this is to let go and see what happens, because if you hang on, it uses a whole lot of energy that really doesn't go anywhere. It's just a waste of energy, hanging on. It's very sort of old past life-ish stories here, so that indicates this could be a very difficult time for you, but the way out of it is to just follow what the cards are saying. They're never wrong. Let's see how others see you. Yeah, there's a bit of, it's a bit like the moon, the 7 of Swords. There's a bit of jealousy going around. There's a bit of deceit going around. Now, this is other people looking at you. So they might own this deceit. They might own this jealousy. That's what I'm getting. But they're projecting that onto you. The Emperor, the moon. So just be really careful this month to guide. Use your intuition at all costs, because it's shaping up to see there's a bit of a battle, I feel, going on. There's some sort of tug of war. And the cards want you to leave this situation because it is done and dusted. But it's just, you'll be questioning yourself. So be strong. Keep the power. Let's see what you're feeling positive about. The Empress, the Mother card, abundance. Your mother, yourself. Very interesting. We've got the archetype for male and the archetype for female. So very strong. So, you know, if you are forced into a situation where you feel potentially you're going to lose your power, you bring it in with the Empress, the matriarch, the emotional one. But then sort of combined or fusion with him, it's very powerful. So there you are. You're feeling positive about this. So whatever the Empress means to you. But it's a beautiful card of abundance. But once you have gone through these steps and going, no, I'm just going to be me and I'm going to hang on to this and I don't really mind about what other people think or want me to do. I'm doing this for me. The outcome. And then we get karmic debt paid off with judgment. So it's done and dusted. And this is the all-time achievers card, especially with these kind of power struggles with people. When you get this card, especially at the end of this cycle for you, this 4 weeks, you know that it's well and truly done. You've done everything. You've come out and you're getting a second chance to go back in fresh. So it's a wonderful card. So you've got 1, 2, 3 big cards, Pisces, for this next 4 weeks. It might be a bit of a struggle, but what I'm seeing is you're going to come through it well. Just learn to say no and learn to let go. Let's see your advice, message. Generosity. A true spiritual life is not possible without a generous heart. When you act in the true spirit of generosity with no expectation, your heart expands outwardly as a consequence of the compassion and loving kindness to be found within. The generosity. And we still can be generous while we're saying no. We can still be generous when we're saying let go. Thanks so much for listening, Pisces. Have a great 4 weeks.